Hi, hello. So I hope you have been able to connect to the streaming on the Zoom platform. My name is Juan Ramon, and before we start with the opening session, I would like to tell you some specificities of the platform and how this event will be developed. First of all, I would like to thank you for your interest in participating in the preliminary market consultation within the framework of the DESAL Plus startups. This is a public innovative procurement procedure that has been promoted by the DESAL Plus platform and also by the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands, also by the Society of Economic Promotion of Gran Canaria. This is linked to other local initiatives in order to support innovation and the access to entrepreneurs and also businesses who can access to support programs in the field of desalination and marine resources in the islands. As I told you, some specificities of the platform. First of all, this session will be recorded, and also you will be able to find it on the YouTube channels of the ITC and also of the Society for the Economic Promotion of Gran Canaria, and also on the website of desalinationlab.com. I would like to remind you, for those who want to, so you can listen to the simultaneous translation, English into Spanish and Spanish into English, and you only have to select the room where the translator will be speaking. And you just need to go into the Zoom. It is also important to tell you that the session, the consultation, and also the questions and answers will be available on the chat in Zoom. They will be also available because two technicians will be answering them simultaneously. So important, all the questions, all the queries that you may make will be selected and will be uploaded to the website of this event, so that this can be available and will be updated as you send them by email. They will be ready, available in a frequently asked questions site. And I will proceed now to open the session with Gabriel Diaz-Martinez, who's the Managing Director of the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands, Jorge Gabriel Garcia Falcone, who's also the Managing Director of the Society of Economic Promotion of Gran Canaria. First of all, good morning. My name is Gabriel Mejías. I'm Managing Director of the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands. So first of all, for this presentation, I would like to publicly thank the support of Cabildo de Gran Canaria and especially the Society of Economic Promotion of Gran Canaria, that these entities have supported us to launch this event, DESAL Plus Startups. We find that the understanding with the Society of Economic Promotion of Gran Canaria has been essential, and we have been able to understand each other, to have a common harmony, coordination, and each institution has been able to develop this program because it's in a very ambitious program, which is the pre-commercial public procurement. I would like to also thank the departments, the internal departments of ITC. They have been working on this initiative, and especially the water department. I would like to thank them. Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands is a public company that depends on the government of the Canary Islands. Particularly, it's attached, is part of the Department of Economy and Employment, and this institute is based on technology and science and on knowledge. We carry out all the research and development and innovation policies of the government of the Canary Islands through the agency that we have in the Canary Islands. We work on applied research very closely linked to the technological transfer and mainly aim at the business sector, business field in order to restrict the gaps that we have because of being an outermost region. We have a multi-departmental field. We work on different areas such as biotechnology, computing, information networks, biomedical industry, but we also work and we specialize in water and energy, mainly renewable energies and water. And within this field of water, one of the major section is desalination, because this is an element that is inherent to the Canary Islands, to be in an island, to the geographic situation of the Canary Island, close to the African continent, close to the subtropics, and also surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. We are surrounded by sea all over, and this is why one of the main resources for the development of the region of the Canary Islands, the social and economic development, is linked to the capacity of desalinated water that we can use. This has been one of our main concerns from the very start of the very beginning of the social economic development of the Canary Islands, and we have pioneered the desalination. You can remember that in 1964 the first desalination plant was installed in Lanzarote, and from that moment onwards we have been installing many other desalination plants. We have been developing many activities in terms of desalination, and we have reached the current situation where we can offer desalinated water to supply 2 million of inhabitants, almost 12 millions of tourists, to supply water to the agricultural industry, with many hectares of farming, and also to supply to the businesses and industrial entities developing activities in the Canary Islands. In order to achieve this, we have been increasing our capacity. We have at this moment around 350 desalination plants. This is the highest density of desalination plants worldwide, and we also have a very significant amount of human resources that concentrate the knowledge and the experience that we have been gaining throughout this period, with many researchers, high top quality researchers with technologies, plant operators, engineers, technicians, etc. We have a large experience and a large background, and they have been able to test in the Canary Islands the main news, the main novelties in desalination. Probably we haven't been successful to make this very profitable, and that's why we started the DESAL Plus program. This is the common brand that we have in all our projects, and we wanted to create an open ecosystem to concentrate the knowledge in the Macaronesian region, not only the Canary Islands, but also in other territories that have similar islands, similar with geographic features that are similar to those of the Canary Islands, in order to concentrate the knowledge and to use all the infrastructure that we have available to continue to test the innovation to continue to take the innovation in the field of desalination. We want to become an international reference in research and development and innovation in desalination, and we have the support of the two University of the Canary Islands, the Research and Development and Innovation Agency of the Canary Islands, the Procurement platform, also the community of municipalities of southeast of Gran Canaria, the Council of Water of Gran Canaria and of El Hierro, and also private companies such as Emalsa, Suslaires, and Canaragua, the other entity. Within the field of this platform, we have carried out many activities, training activities, scientific events, publication. We have been able to present projects and to get funding in order to consolidate the basis of this platform, and this is where we have the Star Plus startups. This is a project that aims to get in Gran Canaria all the talent and all the projects and ideas that may exist in desalination, and to provide these talents with the optimal conditions to develop these projects and ideas on Gran Canaria. Initially, and as you probably as you will be told later, we'll be facing two technological challenges that are very important in the Mecanronesian region, which is the valorization of brine as an output of the desalination process. And also, we have new technology or emerging technologies in desalination, mainly linked to the improvement of the energy efficiency of these technologies. We want to, with this public procurement procedure, we want to have a common initiative for those entrepreneurs who want to develop their projects in the Canary Islands in order to the infrastructures that all the partners of this platform already have in place, also with training sessions, with support sessions, with consulting services. Everything will be in a common framework in order to share profits and risk, and in order to convert these ideas into marketable products. Finally, I would like to encourage you to participate. This is the first stage. This is a preliminary market consultation in order to orientate and to provide guidance and to define the commercial public procurement procedure, how this will be. So please participate. Provide all your contributions, all the contributions that you can provide, and we will try to get this pre-commercial public procurement procedure as close to the market as possible. So thank you very much. So good morning, everyone, all those you who are with us here and for attending this presentation of this event. I would like to start. I would like to thank the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands, and mainly the individuals, the person who have been guiding and conducting these projects, Gabriel Mejías, Baltasar Peñate, who's also here, and Juan Román Rodríguez, because they have made or they have done their best to launch this activity today. As Gabriel said before, I would like to emphasize that this project has been able to be to be born because of the coordination between the institutions, and the public and private entities have a common interest in developing the technological innovation in the Canary Islands. And this line is possible because of the funding of the government of Spain through the Ministry of Science and Innovation and also Cabildo de Gran Canaria. They are also providing funds for this project and for this platform. I would like to emphasize that both entities, I have introduced myself. I am the Managing Director of the Society of Economic Promotion of Gran Canaria, and we play a role such as the ITC. We are a company, a public company for the economic promotion of Gran Canaria, and we want to promote innovation in the business sector. And this is what we clearly specify in this project. I think that Gabriel has explained the reasons why this initiative is so relevant in Gran Canaria and in the Canary Islands. For those who participate in this initiative who are not from the Canary Islands, you know that desalination in the Canary Islands covers over the 50% of the supply in Gran Canaria. So this is a manner of getting water, and this is very important for Gran Canaria. As you know, as Gabriel said before, we have developed a cluster that is very important, and in this field is very interesting because this is an experimental platform between public and private entities in order to experiment innovative solutions. The challenges are intended to improve the energy efficiency and also the output of these elements in order to not depend as much on fossil fuels. I would like to value that this is not only an initiative. We are working with ITC and with other entities within this framework. We would like to also mention that we also have this pre-commercial public procurement procedure that's this Center of Technology of the Ministry, together with the Cabildo de Gran Canaria and with ITC. They are on an experimental stage, and that's why we have other formula, and this will generate technological solutions. We are also working in the training of professionals and researchers, and we are also supporting researchers who want to work on these fields. I would like to also emphasize that we were interested in this initiative because we understand that this formula of procurement will enable us to experiment. This will be a learning experience in innovation for other public spheres, for other public fields where this will be necessary. We want to get new technological solutions that can be implemented, that can be tested in Gran Canaria, and also we also have a more specific interest. We want to get companies with these solutions, startups through these solutions, and that's why we will make all our mentoring resources and consulting services and mentoring services will be available to those startups, entrepreneurs, and not only for those here, but also globally. And finally, to sum up, I hope that we get a significant participation, a high participation. I would like to thank the participants in this initiative, and we hope that we can address these technological challenges and this company that can follow these, that can implement this solution in the Canary Islands. So thank you very much, and thanks for participating.
Bueno, gracias por la apertura y por poner en contexto este programa de compra pública precomercial y esta consulta preliminar de mercado.
And for explaining the context of this pre-commercial public procurement and this preliminary market consultation. And before explaining the challenges and the procedure of the public procurement procedure, we will see a video on the of 2 minutes on the platform, on the Living Lab platform. The world demand of water is 4.6 million hectometers per year. This is a figure that cannot be covered with natural resources only. That's why it is necessary to extract seawater for human consumption, for agricultural use, for industrial use, and also for the tourism use. This is the main function of desalination plants. DESAL Living Lab is a world laboratory based in the Macaronesian region, comprised by a group of companies, public and private entities from Azores, Madeira, Cape Verde, Mauritania and Senegal. The Canary Islands is an ideal place to innovate in desalination plants with the highest density of desalination plants in square kilometers, with over 350 desalination plants, and also with the technology and with the appropriate climate for the desalination. DESAL Living Lab develops ideas and spreads knowledge to the industrial industry, to the industrial field, and we can carry out tests, innovation experiments, and we can see the different innovations that can be approached and can be carried out in this field of desalination. We also provide logistics support for the installation of prototypes. We also provide consulting services and technical support and transfer of knowledge in technology of desalination. And we also carry out other technologies of renewable energies. We want to fight against climate change, and we support the Agenda 2030 and also all the commitments for against climate change. If you're looking for a place to test your project, DESAL Living Lab is the appropriate place to do it. We want to remind you, if you have just connected to the Zoom platform, that you can listen to the simultaneous interpreting, and you can make questions on the platform, and we have two persons that will be simultaneously answering your questions. They are experts in public procurement procedures, so they are experts. So if you have queries, you have questions, you can submit them, and they will be selected for the frequently asked questions. Now we will start with the first presentation of this event. This is Dasil Aleman Rodriguez. She's a member of the section of the Research, Development and Innovation of the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands, and she will present in detail the Preliminary Market Consultation. So thank you very much, Dasil. You're welcome. So welcome. So good morning. First of all, this session will be aimed at those entities, companies, researchers, entrepreneurs, any legal persons or individuals who would like to participate in these public pre-commercial public procurements. In this presentation, I will structure my presentation in three parts, and we will I will talk about the phase of the procedure, and then Baltasar Peñade will speak about the most technical part of this program. We have three parts in this proposal. I will speak about the DESAL Plus Startup Program, what it is, what this consists of, and then we'll show what the pre-commercial public procurement approach is, because many of you probably know what an public innovation procurement is, and we have some profiles that probably you have not seen in a public innovation procurement before. And then we will finally speak about the preliminary market consultation, which is a previous stage to the public procurement. So the DESAL Plus Startup, this is an institutional initiative, as the managing directors of the SPEC of ETC explained before. This is to support the entrepreneurial ecosystem of this platform. We want to carry out the public procurement of pre-commercial innovation solutions that are being developed from the technology readiness 2 or level 2. to the technology readiness level 6 or 7, which is a more advanced part of this process. This program consists of facilitating the testing of solutions carried out by innovative startups. And as I mentioned before, this is open to any individual or legal entity or in the public or private sector. The risk and the profit will be shared. This is one of the features of this pre-commercial public procurement procedure, and this will be shared with the ITC. Basically, the challenges that we want to address in order to get these innovative solutions are two, and they will explain in detail within the platform. And these two challenges will address the brine and the circular economy, and we will talk about solutions and processes to increase the value of brine and the pathway to the lowest discharge possible. The second challenge is new technologies in emerging technologies in desalination. We would like to emphasize that we want to position ourselves from Gran Canaria with a significant international reference all over the world in desalination. The funding, how much will be the amount and how much will the companies get? So this is a question that everyone wonders. So how much will this be? So this is the funding that we have obtained, as we mentioned before. This will be 600,000 euros through a subvention from Cabildo de Gran Canaria in order to develop an experimental program in research and development and innovation related to desalination and to marine resources in the Canary Islands. This is a collaboration program between Cabildo and the Ministry of Innovation. When those companies that pass all the phases of the pre-commercial procurement will receive a maximum amount of 200,000 euros. This is a theoretical amount that you will be able to receive if you pass all the phases. How long will this be? So the estimated term to develop this, the theoretical period for an innovative pre-commercial public procurement will be to 24 months. We are in this stage when we have just launched on the 20th of November, and we are inviting you to participate with these challenges, and we have 30 calendar days, one month, in order to submit your proposals, and we will show you in detail how you have to present this proposal so that you can get to the point when you submit your proposals. We would like to emphasize that this program is to procure technological innovative solutions that have a projection in the market from the technology readiness level 2. We will explain what this is later, and they can advance, they can progress within a period of 18 to 24 months to a pre-commercial stage to the technology readiness level 6 or 7 at the most. This is the procedure of the pre-commercial public procurement. You can see the five stages or phases of this pre-commercial public procurement. We have already launched the DESAL Plus Start program. We have the funding, and we also have an experts committee on desalination, and this committee will be responsible to assess all these proposals submitted. We want to get these challenges, these ideas that need to be addressed in these two strategic lines in the platform. With these challenges, it is very important for you to submit and to prepare your proposal. You must be clear in the subsequent terms and conditions. You must be clear, because we will prepare these subsequent terms and conditions based on the preliminary market consultation, and we will use these elements from this proposal in order to develop those terms and conditions in 3 stages. Finally, the 3 stages in the terms and conditions of the pre-commercial public procurement will be the feasibility study. We will see whether this is profitable or not, the proof of concept, and also we will get a prototype. Finally, after this, we will have a project, and the winners will be able to develop their technologies, and they will develop a competitive prototype that will be a reference in the desalination field, yes. Now we'll proceed to see the follow the approach. We can see what is pre-commercial public procurement. So at the end, this is a type of public procurement in innovation. In innovation public procurement, we changed the approach that we have always had in the procurement of public services, and this is from the demand side, from the public sector. We can collaborate in order to develop a solution, and we can carry out some products that do not exist at this moment in the market, and they will have a higher impact on the companies, on the entrepreneurs, because we will work together, we will work jointly with some services such as mentoring services, consulting services, technological support services. So this will allow you to systematize research and development and innovation in the company, because you will share the risk and also the profits. You will share the risk with the administration, with the public sector. I will be quickly explaining this. We have the public innovation, innovative technology procurement. This is a procedure by which the product does not exist in the market but can be developed within a reasonable period of time. Also, we have a purchase, a procurement. We will see this with the TRL. And we have the pre-commercial public procurement. The product does not exist in the market, and I will purchase just a prototype in a pre-commercial stage. We will procure a prototype in a pre-commercial stage. So what does determine the approach? We have the start of the art, the state of the art of the TRL, and the commercial public procurement we have from TRL 1 to TRL 7. We will start from TRL 1 to TRL 7, TRL 2 to TRL 7, and this public procurement will be for pre-commercial solutions. We can also see the framework, the legal framework of the pre-commercial public procurement, and the way for the procurement. Once your company has won this, or the participants have won this process, they will have a contract for research and development service contract, and this is exempt from Section 8 of the contracts with the public sector, and this will allow us to deal with the challenges that we have established for this pre-commercial public procurement. Again, the pre-commercial public procurement is a procurement or research and development services. You do not get all the results. The rights are not for the exclusive use of the procurer, because you share the profit and the risk of the research and development rights, and then we will have these, we will share in the intellectual property rights. So that's why we are saying that you have to complete and please participate in the preliminary market consultation, because when you participate in the preliminary market consultation, probably you will have more chances to become the winners of the pre-commercial public procurement, which will be the profits or the benefits for the companies. So you get this, you get the development of these innovative solutions, You will be able to develop your innovative solutions. You will be able to hire studies to market subsequent results. You will receive mentoring and business services, and you can get services to get external funding. To prepare the preliminary market consultation, which is the stage 0, you can see the 5 stages of this part. As the preliminary market consultation, this is to prepare the public procurement procedure, and based on the at this phase, at the preliminary market consultation, you can present proposal to both challenges or to a single challenge. And we will see, based on your proposals, we will see in the final terms and conditions whether we will focus on one challenge or on 2 challenges. And we will see, we will establish the requirements and the conditions to be able to participate in the pre-commercial public procurement. This is governed by the Spanish Contract with the Public Sector Act. This is an open dialogue with the market and for those who are interested in develop their projects, and they can submit alternatives. So this is a non-binding initiative. So if we do not find that this is an interesting idea, we may put an end to this procedure. Please read the documents, and when you write your copy, when you write your proposal, you cannot refer to any brand or to any patents. These documents must be free and exempt from these references, and in the case that you are subject to intellectual property rights, you have to specify this in the form. This is very important, and also you have to submit a statement by the owner of the intellectual property rights stating that the owner grants these intellectual property rights to the ITC. The contents of the proposals will be used for this process of the project that will be implemented in the specifications and terms and conditions of the pre-commercial public procurement. These are the phases how to participate in this preliminary market consultation. Probably you are clear now on this. So you see here how you have to participate. First of all, you have to complete a web form. The website is desalinationlab.com/technological challenge. You will see it here on the screen, and we will provide you with this with the website. And on the part of participation, you can submit more than one proposal. A single company can provide proposal for a single challenge or for both challenges, and you can submit joint proposal with one company or with several companies. If you are working or submitting a joint proposal, you have to have a single representative for that proposal. We also have an email address, a specific email address in the case that you need some answers to any questions that you may have. And we also will have a frequently asked questions in the website, on the website of the Desalination Lab, and we will be updating these frequently asked questions on a regular basis so that you can have the answers to your questions duly updated, and you can have all the information that you may require in order to prepare this preliminary market consultation. The term will be 30 calendar days that started on the 20th of November, and we hope, indicate that we get sufficient proposal that this term will end on the 20th of December, and the case that we do not get sufficient proposals, we will extend this term. But in that case, we will provide you with this information about the extension of the term. Finally, we will have a final report with the results that will be published on the platform of the contract with the public sector. The publicity, well, will this be posted? This is published on the platform of the contract with the public sector. You have to go to platform to the contractor's profile under documentation, under documents, and you will see the terms and conditions and the terms and conditions and the appendix that is attached. But basically, where you will have to complete the form is on the website platform. This is where you have to go, you have to access the website, the platform on the URL that we mentioned before, and you will see something like this. You will have two stages. You firstly will have to complete the form. This is the appendix number 2. The appendix 2 of the terms and conditions is the web form, and also you will have to complete the documents. You will have the structure of the form. We have 4 parts. The first part is the basic data. You have to complete the basic data of your company, name of the company, acronym, the challenge that you want to submit your proposal to. If you want to submit proposals to several challenges, you have to complete this on several occasions, because this will be the easiest way to assess the proposals later. The additional information that will be necessary to prepare the subsequent terms and conditions, the turnover of the company, the experience, whether you are experienced in desalination or not. And you have to provide additional information that is necessary to prepare the terms and conditions with the award requirements, the award conditions, and for the subsequent tender. And we will have a second part, which is the description of the proposal with a report and the attached documents, where you can submit all the documents that you may want to submit, together with the description of the proposal with the report. The terms of this stage of the preliminary market consultation we hope that they won't go beyond the end of January, because we will assess these proposals submitted, and we will prepare this preliminary report, and we will provide you by email with information in plenty of time, and in the case that we do not receive a innovative proposal, we may extend the term. After this 30-day term, we think that we will have the tender within the first quarter of the next year. And we would like to invite you to participate. We want to encourage you to participate, because we think that the challenges are very innovative and will make us become a world reference in desalination, because we have the platform, this infrastructure, and the appropriate staff to do it. So thank you very much. And now I will give the floor back to Juan Ramón. So thanks, Dasil. Excellent presentation. I think the procedure of the consultation is very clear. And now I will give the floor to Baltasar Peñate Suárez, who's the head of the Water Department of the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands, and he will explain in detail the technological challenges of both challenges, and also the whole context of innovation related to the DESAL Plus platform. Before I give the floor to him, please remember this is a bilingual event. You can listen to the interpreting. You can also ask questions directly, and they will be simultaneously answered by the technicians who are using the Zoom platform. This session will be recorded and will be uploaded to the Desalination Lab website, and also to the channels of the SPEC and of the ITC in the case that you miss any part. So, Baltasar, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
Bien, muchas gracias, Juanra. Buenos días. Gracias a todos por la asistencia a este evento.
So, thank you very much,
bueno, a mí me toca entrar en los aspectos más de la técnica, ¿no? Más del estado del arte, de la tecnología, fundamental porque nos hemos decantado por estos dos grandes retos tecnológicos y también
and explain why we have established these two technological challenges, and we want to tell you about the ecosystem that we have established in the Canary Islands related to innovation, development, and research related to desalination. I will make two different parts, the focus of our innovation system in the Canary Islands, and also the second part I will explain in detail the technological challenges that we want to address with this pre-commercial public procurement. Before, you could see a video focused or presenting basically what the Living Lab is, this open laboratory of research about the economy of knowledge in desalination in the Canary Islands. This is a platform coordinated by the Institute of Technology of the Canary Islands, and we make a difference between members and partners, and the members as one of the members is the Agency of Research, Development and Innovation of the Canary Islands, the Government of the Canary Islands, University of Las Palmas de Gran Canaria, and we have a large number of partners, the Ocean Platform of the Canary Islands, some public and private services companies related to desalination. For those of us who do not know where we are, so we are in a part of the Atlantic Ocean, very close to the African continent, where we are a couple of archipelagos. We are very familiar with desalination, and the use of technology has been a need, a requirement, in order to address the needs and due to the continuous drought that we suffer in the Canary Islands. This innovation hub has its core in the Canary Islands, and we have some collaboration with the Azores, with Madeira, Cape Verde, and also with some countries such as Senegal and Mauritania. This ecosystem of innovation has some specificities, and it's very different from other environments where we desalinate seawater. We have a very high density of desalination plants in comparison to the territory that where we are based. We supply over 2 million inhabitants and a significant tourism industry. We also have a significant demand of agricultural water, and also for the industrial purposes and for the recreational purposes as well. We also have some opportunities apart from the experience in desalination with over 50 years operating desalination plants of different sizes, capacities, technologies. We have been a world laboratory in the implementation of desalination plants. We also have infrastructure which is open for research. We have public-private agreements in order to experiment. We have the access to seawater, to brine, and we also have excellent weather conditions and natural resources such as the sun, the wind, and the sea. And we have a high number of researchers, of individuals, researchers, engineers that are highly qualified, have a very experience in desalination. We also have a multiplying effect, which is the tax system of the Canary Islands. We are based in a special tax zone with some special advantages for those companies who want to come and do research and innovation in the Canary Islands. We have some tax exemptions that make the Canary Islands a very interesting, a very attractive environment to come and settle in the Canary Islands. This is the motivation to have a hub, a living lab, an ecosystem, a comprehensive system to go for innovation, for research and development, for experimentation, for testing, and with the links and with the partners and the public and private entities in this sector, we have established the infrastructure and all the necessary protocols in order to speed up and to facilitate the research of companies, those companies who want to do research in the Canary Islands. We have a strategic plan, we have a strategic lines that we have work in detail, the strategic areas of desalination, and which are more interesting to the Canary Islands, and they are established in 9 lines. 2 of these lines are the technological challenges that we have established, though these lines we are working on projects or focusing on the advanced maintenance in desalination plants with the automation, big data, or artificial intelligence for the control of desalination plants. Also the pretreatments related to seawater and reverse osmosis. Also we have the testing with new membranes, with new materials for membranes. Also the desalinated water energy nexus in order to work on the energy efficiency. Also the aspects related to the quality of desalinated water, and we also have to establish a regulatory framework, and also the last strategic lines, which is brine and the valorization and the circular economy, green chemistry, how to reduce the components, the chemical components used in the process, or to replace them with other more sustainable elements. And finally, we want to talk about desalination, emerging desalination technologies to change the desalination field over the next years. The Living Lab has an infrastructure and desalination plants, and also with field equipment. At this moment, we have over 10 desalination plants that are open for research, and we also have some areas where we can establish pilot processes or pilot tests, and they are all of them, they are oriented to desalination, to the use of renewable energies related to desalination, and everything that is related to the desalinated water energy nexus. At this moment, we also have a list that is increasing of initiatives with different projects and studies, consulting services, training, analysis, pilot tests, demonstrations. And today we also start with a new line, which is the purchase of research and development services in order to support startups and businesses by addressing common risk while approaching the market. Now we can see the second part of my presentation, that is related to the challenge that we have established and why these are the most interesting for the Canary Islands and why they have to be focused from the Canary Islands. And we think we all know that desalination has been one of the key vectors in order to address and to deal with the climate change and to the settings of drought, of the lack of water resources, and many countries are now implementing desalination in order to deal with the gaps or with the lack of water. You can see that now we are above 80.9 million of cubic meters per day, not probably in service but being used, and within the next year we will exceed 100 million of cubic meters per day. This is not only about seawater, but also we are talking about brackish water in order to get proper water for irrigation for the agricultural sector. And we can see the membranes, and we also see the distillation process in desalination. And as you can see, this is an industry that is increasing. The tenders are continue to increase, and the urban demand and the tourism demand and the agricultural demand will need more and more water from desalination. And this should go hand in hand with the development, research, and innovation. And that's why we want to go for research and development and to go for new challenges that may be good for this sector, for this industry. We have many types of technologies that have been implemented in the experimental and also in the business field of desalination. We need to treat water, and we also have the membrane process with reverse osmosis and electrodialysis are the most implemented in the Canary Islands. And we also start to see other technologies using membranes in order to respond on a small scale. If we have to analyze how the distribution of this demand is, you can see that reverse osmosis and also multi-stage flash, multi-effect, they cover over the 90% of penetration in the market, and we also start to see small technologies, other disruptive technologies that start to enter the international tenders. In Spain, especially in the Canary Islands, so the Canary Islands have always been a sort of a pioneer in this field, especially the Canary Islands, with over 50 years of experience, and we have been on the avant-garde of desalination. And we have always supported the reverse osmosis technology. In the Canary Islands, we have over 300 desalination plants. The installed capacity exceeds 600,000 cubic meters per day. This is not much, but if you compare this to the inhabitants, so this is the highest density of desalination plants in the planet. And we also have some conditionings, environmental conditionings that we have to assess brine in order to minimize the impact. So desalination in terms of energy is very demanding in terms of energy. Depending on which island we talk about, so over the 10% of the energy that is produced in the Canary Islands is linked to desalination, and over the 10% of the power produced in the Canary Islands is linked to water. And so that's why we need to take into account any innovation related to research and development and innovation in terms of energy efficiency. And the significant input of renewable energy and the introduction of energy efficiency in this sector, that's why we consider that we should establish two major challenges for the Canary Islands in order to have emerging disruptive energy within the next years, in order to talk about new means, new forms of desalination, and also to talk about the brine market in order to increase the value of brine. And finally, in order to explain the challenges, I will firstly mention the first challenge, which is related to brine, and finally we'll be speaking about emerging desalination. As you know, desalination results in discharge of brine. This is discharge into the sea, into the open sea, and we can see that in Gran Canaria alone we can we can discharge almost 150,000 cubic meters per day. This has a very high value if we consider the byproducts that brine could generate. So that's why if we want to talk about any environmental quality objective, we could see the benefit of taking advantage of brine in order to make it a byproduct and to in order to incorporate a concept of circular economy. Europe, Spain, and the Canary Islands is supporting the strategy of circular economy linked to the industry. We also need to reduce the environmental impact of brine on the environment, especially on the sea. And finally, we should try to contribute with new processes and with new technologies in order to increase the value of brine as an added value product. The challenge that we have here is introducing the European and Spanish strategy, where brine is considered as a strategic vector, as a key vector, and we will find channels of funding, channels of financing. Especially our challenge, we have seen that some investigation centers, research centers, and startups, entrepreneurs are working on disruptive concepts on the valorization of brine, and they extract chemicals, they extract minerals from brine, they take advantage of the salinity gradient of brine, and finally the capture and use of CO2 from other industrial processes that may be close to a desalination plant. Of course, if we want to exploit this type of solution, we have to talk about efficiency, technological efficiency, in order to extract with a high efficiency products, and we also have to talk about sustainability in this process. So, seeing the state of the art, we can see some technologies that are starting to be implemented in relation to the valorization of brine, and we can also see some processes that may work with high salinity waters, and you can see some examples on this slide. So what do we expect with this preliminary consultation? We can listen to, get to know, to assess the state of the art of some entrepreneurs with pre-commercial solutions that can go from a TRL 2, 3, or 4, that we can work together and by acquiring research and development services in order to have a pre-market solution within a term of 18 or months approximately. Within this period, we have to work on the feasibility and viability of the process, what the market would look like, and also we would receive some financing from the spec, from the Living Lab, and also we would receive advice and mentoring services in order to launch this to the market. We would also acquire equipment, create the prototypes, and carry out a demonstration in real conditions in order to see what the prototype of these brines technologies could be. And this solution should incorporate circular economy, how they reduce the discharges or the products, whether they use directly or indirect brine as a reagent for a desalination plant. We also have to diversify the economy. We also would need to see green chemistry, how we can reduce the chemicals. In this idea, we also have to talk about in smart or digitalization or artificial intelligence or the Industry 4.0. And finally, we would like to see some processes to have synergies with the process of desalination, because we would increase the level of or the amount of the output of desalinated water. We should avoid those solutions with regulatory gaps. We cannot go for technologies that will have some legal restrictions or a restriction in the application in Europe, in Spain, or in the Canary Islands. Finally, the criteria by which we will assess the interest for the public procurement, we will need to see the economic profit, the profit of the generated from the brine or from the reduction of costs, also the reductions of the volume of the desalination plant, the reduction of the carbon footprint of the desalination plants, and also the other social and economical variable, which is the generation of employment. With this information, I have tried to summarize these criteria for the valorization of brine, and I would finally talk about the emerging desalination challenge. And we have tried to cover all the demands of solution of pre-commercial solutions that may be emerging, disruptive, or alternative or supplementary to reverse osmosis, which is the technology that we use in the Canary Islands. It is self-evident that I have to talk about energy, and those who work in desalination, we know that we have reduced, gradually we have reduced the power consumption, and you can see how the desalination plants have reduced the use of energy, and in 2012 we have reduced, we have been below 3.7 kilowatts hour per cubic meter. The average is above 3 kilowatts per hour, and with a large capacity, we do not expect to reduce the energy consumption below 2 kilowatts. Of course, over the last 25 years, the progress has been significant with new membranes, with low fouling, with the recovery of energy with isobaric chambers, the variable frequency drives, and also with the high-pressure pumping equipment with a high efficiency and the minimization of the energy consumption. That's why we have been able to reduce the energy step by step, but now we have to look for new alternatives, and that's why we have established this challenge. This is a view, an historic view of how this consumption has been reduced in the Canary Islands. You can see the Pelton and Francine turbines, and you can see also with the small capacity, and we in some parts we can desalinate below 2 kilowatts hour per cubic meter. And we also can see the recovery methods, energy recovery methods, but this is a small-scale view, and the challenge is to go to the large scales, and we want to approach all the disruptive solution, and in order to get them to the Canary Islands, in order to get them to the market together with companies that may be interested. This is a summary. With this slide, you can see all the disruptive emerging technology that we start to see them in the market. Of course, we want to go for some technologies with a significant stage of research, of development. I think this is essential in this challenge to talk about technology that is still to be developed, that is not still mature to get to the market. Also, as we talk about the brine, I also have to talk about the objectives and also the cornerstones and the criteria and the indicators. The objectives are clear. We have to see the state-of-the-art of technologies that in a mid and large scale, after a development process, that can get below 2 kilowatts per hour per cubic meter. The core, the specific center of desalination should result in a significant amount of energy consumption in the large scale, on a large scales. We have to know, with the information provided, the simulations that you have carried out, the settings, where the condition where have you carried out, the economic viability, and the needs that you have in order to go together hand in hand. We need to know the needs that you have of staff, equipment, the consulting services, and we will try to help you in this process. And we also need to know the mentoring services that you may need in terms of business. Regarding the cornerstones, I will summarize then. We have to talk about energy efficiency, circular economy, and green chemistry. This should be seen as a low consumption of energy, the lowest consumption of energy possible. And we have to reduce the discharge, desalination without chemicals, and the combinations of zero liquid discharge. And we also have to go for the digitalization of the process in order to automate the energy efficiency and the savings, of course. And finally, as we said with brines, we must avoid those solutions for in desalination that cannot be integrated in the market because they do not comply with regulation, either because of the safety, because they are for water, for the human consumption or for agricultural consumption. We have to take into account the regulatory framework that we have to deal with. We will see some impact indicators that we will consider based on some based on some impact indicators, the impact of the reduction of the carbon footprint, the reduction of the discharge of brine volume, the use of the chemicals in the process, and also those technologies that can get to the reuse of new elements that can support the desalination technology. Any solution that can be integrated with byproducts generated will be also properly assessed. So I finally would like to thank you. I hope this presentation has been has facilitated your understanding of this preliminary market consultation. I will now give you a period of time so that you can use Zoom and you can submit the questions so that our colleagues can send you the answers to your questions. In any case, any questions you have submitted and those that have not been answered today will be published on the platform. You look for the frequently asked questions site and you will see everything there. And also, please, you can subscribe to the newsletter and you will receive all the emails when we have some news on this procurement process. The main milestones, we will try to finish the consultation before the end of September, and then we will prepare the terms and conditions after January, and we will try to launch the commercial public procurement in 2021. You can see the email address, so thank you very much. So the ITC colleagues for the support and for the efforts. I hope that you submit your proposal. The more information that we get from you in your proposals, the better this will be for the preparation of the terms and conditions for the public procurement, and we hope that we can work together. Now the Zoom platform will be open for 10-15 minutes in order to answer the questions, and thank you very much for attending this presentation.